John Mutchler here, and one of the things I love about Facebook is that they put in our newsfeed unexpectedly anniversaries and events on old memories that we may have long forgotten. That happened to me today. Something showed up in my feed that reminded me of a number of community building activities that we initiated over the last 4 or 5 years. I wanted to share some of those in this short video. A fun seasonal activity that showed up in my feed this morning was something we called Frightdale. Frightdale invited all Ferndale families to decorate their homes in a Halloween, scary, spooky theme. Those homes would be judged by what we called sort of local celebrities, people like Michael Kanan and Jake Locker and others. They would judge the homes, come up with a first and a second place and third place winner, and we were receiving free gift cards from Woods Coffee to give to the prize winners. It was a lot of fun, and I believe it's continuing even during the age of COVID. Speaking of Woods and Coffee, one of the things we started was an initiative to get people to want to attend city council meetings. We came up with something called Brewing over city business. It was popular enough and interesting enough that it actually made the King 5 TV news one day. What we did was we invited people to come to their first ever council meeting. If they lived in Ferndale and they were attending their first council meeting, we gave them a $10 gift card to Woods Coffee. They were donated both by Woods Coffee and also by the Whatcom Community Foundation. The idea was $10 would buy you a couple cups of coffee so that you could go out after a council meeting and chat about city business with a friend or a neighbor. Again, brewing over city business, it was a lot of fun. And we gave away, I guess, about 100 cards representing at least 100 new visitors to city council meetings so they would stay involved and stay engaged. We started something called Love Thy Neighborhood, which is really simple. We invited youth groups, and usually it was church youth groups, to clean their neighborhood. Usually a 1 mile block in every direction. They would clean it up. We would supply safety gear and cleaning tools and garbage bags. They would clean it all up. And then they would be given ice cream, care of Edeline's Ice Cream. They were very glad to help promote Love Thy Neighborhood. So we got these young people engaged with stewardship over their city, community involvement, and also have a sense of respect for their city and a way for them to give back as well. Something that we started a number of years ago that I'm pleased to see continue is what we call Ferndale Fit. Community members gather usually on the Wednesday afternoons to go for a run, walk, or jog. Some bring their strollers and their babies. They go out for 20 minutes and come back and gather together, usually hang out. Sometimes they go out afterwards. But a community building activity that got people outside, got some fresh air, and got a little bit of exercise. And again, I'm pleased to see that Ferndale Fit is continuing to this day. Something that we started a few years ago, we called the Ferndale Leadership Coalition. This was a bi-monthly gathering of key civic leaders like the school superintendent, the high school principal, the police chief, the fire chief, the Chamber of Commerce director, and the mayor. They would meet for coffee about every 2 months just to talk about their realm of business and activities and inform one another, and I think most importantly, build a better sense of cooperation and esprit de corps among your key leaders to build a better city, to build a better community. Ferndale's priorities, of course, begin with safety. We don't scrimp on law enforcement. After all, if we're not safe, we can't live, love, learn, work, or thrive in our community. We have to be safe. So we spend money there. We also spend money on infrastructure, water, sewer, storm, roads, and things like that. We have to do that. Because of that, there sometimes isn't a lot of money left over. I remember meeting with staff, asking staff, what are some things that we can do during the summer to build community for our citizens that don't cost a lot of money, if any money at all? We came up with a couple really fun things that continue to this day. Food truck Fridays, which is a lot of fun, and also our summer concert series. I remember one time that one of your public officials managed to weasel his way up and sitting with one of the bands, I think called Baby Cakes one time. It was a lot of fun, and we want to continue those activities to bring out families to enjoy each other and get to know their neighbor. I think the last thing I want to mention today in terms of community building is what we call the Ferndale Civic Youth Council. You may have heard a little bit about that in a previous video that Jacob Peterson put on. We gathered high school leaders, promising leaders. We also, you might not know this, gathered a few homeschool leaders as well to get together, usually before a regular council meeting, and they would conduct themselves regular council business. They would discuss and debate and actually eventually vote on certain city business, thereby taking greater ownership of their community, with the expectation among those of us on the staff that some of these kids might end up being city council members or mayors someday of this great city. And so thank you, Facebook, for reminding us of some of the activities that occur here in Ferndale on a regular basis to help us enjoy our city more, to get to know our neighbors, and to participate in this great community, this great city called Ferndale. Thank you for watching today.